Hey there, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Okay, this morning, actually, this whole entire week, I'm talking about a really important topic, not only for growing your wellness business sustainably, but to protect your own health and wellness and allow you to have the energy to do the things that light you up in life, like spending time with your family, going for hikes, going to your favorite yoga class, all the things. Now, here's what's not often talked about is burnout in the wellness industry. And that is because we're all wellness practitioners. Maybe you call yourself a yoga teacher, or maybe you call yourself a massage therapist or body worker. Maybe you call yourself a healthcare provider, wellness practitioner. Doesn't matter, right? We all teach health and wellness, or healing, preventing injury, in my mind, has to do with health and wellness, or healing and preventing disease and illnesses, right? All flavors of the same thing on the spectrum of health and wellness, feeling well, thriving, living your best life, right? This is what we teach to others. This is our passion. This is how we show up to serve for our communities. And it means a lot to us. Yet, what's not talked about is how a lot of wellness entrepreneurs are burnt out themselves. And they don't want to admit it to themselves, or maybe they have an inkling of like, oh, I'm starting to feel the signs of burnout, meaning they're lackluster. Maybe you don't want to show up to your sessions. Hey, yes, creating more awareness. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you showed up. And tell me if I pronounce your name right. Simont? And often some signs of burnout are you might start to resent your clients, the patients that you want to serve so dearly. Okay, 2 reasons of burnout I see. Number 1 is due to schedule, overworking, hustling, often from a pressure to pay the bills, to do more, to be more. Sometimes it stems from our own belief and worthiness, right? This is one whole way it'll show up in terms of overworking and hustling. Sometimes fear of not being able to make ends meet as a wellness practitioner, which also has to do with the second big reason as to, you are so welcome, why I see burnout is because wellnesspreneurs don't have a strong foundation for their business, or a streamlined structure for their business, or are not charging appropriately for your business. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out there and automatically raise your prices for private sessions, for private classes that just seems astronomical in your mind. I'm not saying that at all, because there is a sweet spot for price of charging your worth so you don't resent your people, right? So you can pay the bills without overworking, and also meeting your people where they're at and fitting somewhat in the industry. I'm not saying that you have to be the average price in the industry. Of course, you can be an outlier. There is a formula for that as well. And this is all of what I teach in the Awaken one-to-one intensive, is figuring out that sweet spot of the price point for yourself. So you're not overworking, so you're not hustling, so you're not hitting burnout. Because here's the thing, if you hit burnout, then you can't serve those in your community that you want to serve so well. The whole reason why you became a wellness entrepreneur in the first place is all for naught. If you're so exhausted, if your adrenals are so taxed out, if your body, if your own health is saying uncle and tapping out, and you can't show up to serve, your whole passion is all for naught. So how do I know? Right? I've been there. Some of you have heard my story of I had a successful, on paper, profitable 6-figure with profit, 60% profit or more, brick and mortar wellness and healing business. And it was wonderful. I was helping a ton of people. I was leading yoga teacher trainings. I was doing leading classes, one-to-ones, and it was hustle and bustle. And on paper, it looked very profitable. In my life, I was nearing towards burnout because let me give you an example day. 14, 15-hour day, right? Teach a 7 a.m. yoga class, meaning I have to be in the studio at 6:30 a.m. ready to go to start to meet and greet, check in, the whole thing, right? Finish that class, go do a couple private sessions. Then I would have a noon yoga class, meaning I had to be there at 11:30 a.m. By the time I showered and whatnot, because it was a hot yoga class, it was about 1 p.m. By the time I got back to my studio, I would quickly cram something in my face to eat for lunch, and then I would see a few more private sessions till, about 5:30 or so, and I would be exhausted. And then somehow I would have to drum up the energy. So that was where my adrenals really got taxed because my nervous system was pretty tapped out. My just like energetic resources were pretty tapped out for the day. Yet I had to be down in La Jolla, which is a good half hour on a good day, 45 minutes, to teach a 7:30 p.m. yoga class. I wouldn't get home till about sometimes 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. That was a normal Tuesday. It's not sustainable. And the reason why I was doing that was, number one, it's what my mentors did, right? They were teaching yoga classes, squeezing in private sessions, teaching evening workshops, teaching weekend trainings and intensives. It was what I saw my mentors doing. So I thought it was normal. I thought that it was me. Something was wrong with me because I was so exhausted and tired. Like, how come I can't keep up with this grueling schedule? I must not be working hard enough. I must not be like fit enough, right? I was beating myself down at the same time, which was another whole layer of energy exhaustion and burnout. And I know this is so common because I hear it. And on paper, there was a point when, I was way above 6 figures where I was bringing home a good paycheck. And that was great, except I was so exhausted, I couldn't really enjoy it because I couldn't get off the couch. The weekends that I wasn't teaching teacher trainings, I was so tired, I had a hard time getting off the couch. And this doesn't serve anyone. It for sure doesn't serve my own health and wellness. I was diagnosed with cancer and Lynch syndrome. I'm not saying that I caused it, but for sure I contributed to that. My schedule did not help my cancer diagnosis at all. I wasn't seeing my family, so I wasn't replenishing my cup. It was all these factors. And you know what I noticed is that I still had so much passion to serve those in my classes, my trainings, my one-to-one. I was still putting so much energy to those. But now what I noticed, because I have a profitable 6-figure business again, and I'm treating one-on-ones and I'm leading trainings, but it's all in a different way. My schedule is so optimized, let's say, because I have evenings and weekends to my family. Keely and I were going on another girls trip this summer. I have so much more energy. I feel so much better. I notice, here's the catcher for those of you that are doing this. My classes, my one-to-ones, the trainings I lead, the content I put out, the value I put out into the world is so higher quality now because I'm not exhausted, right? So even though you might be thinking, well, I'm showing up, I'm teaching my classes, I'm doing my things. Yeah, if you're dragging your butt trying to get to class, teach a training, you are tired, right? And the quality that you're going to put out into the world is not going to be as good as when your cup is full, when you're going to your own yoga classes, when you're taking care of yourself, when you're having time and fun with your family and those you care about. 100%, you can't argue with me that you're not going to give out better quality when you're caring for yourself better. And I know this 100% to be true. So this might be your wake-up call. Some call it the come to Jesus call. I don't want to offend anyone, but you know, don't worry. If this stirred you up and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't recognize that I was having some signs of burnout. I didn't recognize, like now I can feel it in my body, how tired I really am. Don't beat yourself up. This is not a reason to beat yourself up. This is your wake-up call because I've got you. Right? There's something you can do. Friday, it's free. It's free. So you really do not have an excuse or reason. Even if you cannot make it live, here's the thing. I have a replay, and it's beyond just through the weekend because I don't want you watching it on the weekend. I want you to replenish yourself. So it's all the way through Monday night, 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The replay is available. And it's a free workshop on how to have more fun this summer. And you might be saying, Allison, oh, that sounds nice. That sounds so nice. I really would like to pay my bills, though. I would really like to keep my head and my finances above water. As I was saying, the more you are replenished, the more energy you have, the more fun you have in life, the more you will serve others. I found this 100% to be true, is that the more downtime I give myself, the better the quality of work. What I'm currently doing in my business has so much more impact. So it's not about doing more. I actually was just saying this on a client call this week because we were going over her schedule and we were figuring out, she's a mom and she's got a very successful business and she is looking to bring in more revenue and she has the capacity to serve more people. Yet we were saying it's not about the actual time of your butt in the seat or the actual time of, you know, being in a yoga studio or whatever. That does not matter. It's relative. It's arbitrary because there's successful entrepreneurs that work 3 days a week, right? So you can create your ideal schedule. It's knowing what impact the work that you're doing, what impact do you want it to have to bring in new clients? Do you have a streamlined system and structure to draw new people into your world and convert them into paying customers, right? And clients, because that's who you're serving. Those are the people that you're serving. So the workshop is really about how to create that ideal schedule and learning how to implement it, right? Because it's one thing to create an ideal schedule and say, oh, that's so nice. I want to work from, you know, after I drop my child off at school. And then this summer, I want to stop work at 2:30, 3 p.m. because when I pick them up, I want to take them to the park before the sun goes down. Or here in Encinitas, we can actually go to the beach on a Wednesday, which is just so nice. We're so lucky. Or maybe in your area, it's a lake or wherever, beautiful, do a forest bathe before you go home. Whatever it is to you, what lights you up on a hike. It's summertime, you should be able to enjoy it. And knowing that if you do stop the workday at 3 or 4 p.m., for example, or if you do decide, okay, Fridays I'm taking a half day, I'm taking the rest of the weekend off, that you're going to come back to work Monday energized with a clear focus and clarity, knowing exactly what to do to create the impact that you desire. And that's how you create profit. And that is how you prevent burnout, is this. So that's what we're going to teach in the workshop. I already have the slides made. Everything's all set up. All you have to do is sign up. So I'll drop thank you so much, Miguel. All you have to do is sign up. I'll drop the link here in the comments right now so you can get signed up. It's free. Again, the replay will be available until Monday evening, so you can watch it on your own time. If you can join live, I would love that because, of course, I will answer your unique questions if you're live. I also always, if you've attended any of my workshops, I always ask, you're very welcome. I always ask why people signed up for the workshop, what they personally hope to get out of the time that they're investing, because I know your time is valuable. So I really cater, like of course I have slides, but I leave room to really cater the workshop to those that do attend live. If you know, you can sign up. And if you know that you can't attend live because maybe you are teaching a class, maybe you do have a client, or maybe you're deciding to take Friday off to be with your family, I applaud that. Do that. Just send me what you hope to get out of the workshop. Like if you're signing up, like what information do you want to know at the end of the 90 minutes? It's a 90-minute workshop. At the end of the 90 minutes, what would guarantee that it was a great time investment? What knowledge would you have liked to know that you're leaving with that would make it that you know in your head that it was a great investment, time investment? Then you can just email me your questions, what you hope to get out of it, and I'll include it in the workshop. So you can sign up right now. Just hit reply to the confirmation email and say, Allison, this is what I would love to hear from you in the workshop, and I will add it in. That's the benefit of working and connecting with me. It's a whole benefit of this community, because I really do appreciate and want to respect your time and your goals. So I will make it work for you. Okay, so get signed up, and I will see you all Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or on the replay. And again, you can just hit reply to any of those emails. Let me know your unique questions and what you hope to get out of the workshop. And then, of course, I will see you next week. Okay, hope you enjoyed the soapbox sermon this Wednesday morning. Bye for now.